What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to go over how to read the charts using price action, going bar by bar, doing technical analysis, using no indicators other than this 21-day EMA. We're looking at S&P 500 futures, and that's pretty much it. This is some of the most powerful technical analysis day trading techniques because traders around the world have been using this for years and years. And all it really is using trend channels and trend lines to interpret and discern what's going on in the charts. That really is just an illustration of the psychology of what traders are thinking in these markets. And the rules with any sort of trend, such as this downtrend that we're in, is that once there's a break, we don't expect it to be over until there's a new low. So we've had a break, we're still expecting to test the low, and we just have a little congestion. So what do? We just draw our little mini trading range to show us what's going on. Right now, traders are basically, because there's so many stacked bars, what I'm interpreting this as is that there's many traders who are thinking to go long, there's many traders who are thinking to go short, but like I said, we're still expecting to test this new low. We're still below the EMA, so if I get a nice bear signal bar at the top of this mini trading range, like we have right there actually, I'm going to go short. And we like to go for a 1-point tip, 1-point scalp in this trading technique, which I learned from a few different YouTubers, Thomas Wade, Mac from Price Action Trading System. But basically, this is a triple test right here, nice bear signal bar at the top of the trading range, and it worked out. And then we actually have another lower high right there. You can go short once again, and you can even ride it down all the way down here. Some aggressive traders like to do that. I go for a 1-point scalp, and that would have ended up working out. But now we see that we have a break of this wide trend channel and the new low. So now we don't want to be careful taking any short setups because even though prices are still very, very bearish, we don't want to change our trend channel to look something like this, because your first intuition, your first trend channel with the most touches is always going to be the best. Maybe not always, but 99% of the time. But what I do like to do is draw any short-term trend, no matter how short-term you might think. If there's like 3 or more bars consecutive, I like to draw a little short-term trend. So we have this short-term downtrend, we have a break, but also we have this short-term uptrend. So now I'm just waiting for any setup. Okay, now this short-term downtrend is over. We're still potentially going to get a test of this high of this short-term uptrend, and we do end up getting that. So now at this point, we're at the bottom of this trading range, but it could just be the middle, so we want to wait and see what ends up happening. And once again, we can draw this short-term uptrend. There's a break of it. There's a new high, and we're just going sideways. So we want to stay away from any trades and just wait for the obvious setups to appear. So now we're at the bottom of this trading range once again. We want to think to potentially go long. But once again, we have 4 consecutive bars. Let's draw that little downtrend. We have a break, new low. We have a bullish bar, not bullish enough to go long. And we end up finally having nice bullish momentum. Let's draw our short-term trend once again. So we have a break of the short-term trend, new high, potentially. We're nearing these highs. We have a bear signal bar. Let's see if we can get a lower high. We don't get one, but let's draw this once again. We're always looking to fit trend channels to the bar so we actually can interpret what is going on. And now we have a bullish bar at the bottom of this trading range. We have a higher low right here, but we have not had a new low of this short-term downtrend. So I would avoid this trade, especially because these bars are also stacked. I'm going to not draw that just because it's a little cluttered, but let's see what happens. So now we actually have a new low. We have a first entry short, potential second entry short. So an aggressive trader might want to take this just because, like I said, we're still expecting a new low of this, but there's also a conflicting pattern that we're at the bottom of this trading range, and most traders are going to think that we went from the bottom, so we should go to the top. So I'll mark this as an aggressive entry. I don't even know if it worked. I'm actually currently in Australia. I'm seeing these charts for the first time and kind of taking you guys through my thought process. I just want to see what happened in the markets today. So, like I said, it's too congested, but it is a second entry short, and actually it didn't even get triggered, so we can get rid of that. But it makes sense that it didn't trigger because we're just in the middle of this range and prices are just looking very, very congested. So now let's zoom out. I like to always zoom out, see what's going on. Now we finally reached the top of this trading range. We had a little short-term uptrend. We had a break of it. We have a new high. And now, look at this. This is another test at these highs. Very bearish signal bar. Some traders like to take this trade, but I have a personal rule that I just learned from trading the past couple of years that I never really like to take a trade that closes right at the EMA or one tick from the EMA. It's just a personal choice. But that does look like a nice signal bar. And it did end up working for a scalp, because a lot of times in this trading technique, if you're going to go for a scalp, if you just pick the direction right, most of the time, almost 99% of the time, depending on how good of a trade it is, you're gonna get in for the scalp. It just depends on your psychology, your mindset, and staying patient enough to wait for the really great setups. So now we actually have a lower high right here. We have a new low, first entry short, potential second entry short if the next bar triggers below this one. But once again, it just looks very, very congested. And actually, this looks like a nice trade to me because we have a new high here. We have sort of a first entry long, second entry long failure, and then another lower high confirming the second entry long failure. And once again, we're still looking for a new low of this downtrend. So now we went from 06 to 475. So you would have just got out for a 1 point scalp if you went short at this bar. But like I just actually mentioned a couple minutes ago, that's why this scalping technique is so powerful, because even if you don't take the greatest of trades, a lot of the time you're going to get bailed out. But looking back, I don't even know if this is a great trade, especially because you're actually going at the low of this very move. And like I said a million times already, I like to focus on the short-term downtrend. So really, you can't even draw a short-term downtrend. You can draw something like this, but that looks too wide to me. Doesn't really fit the price action. To me, it really is. We have this mini short-term downtrend. We have a break, congestion, new low. So you really don't actually want to go low at the, or go short at the low of this move, even though we're probably going to go lower, which we, yes, end up doing. So now we once again are at the bottom of this trading range, and we have a higher low after a bullish bar. But once again, if we draw this short-term uptrend, it's really just a break in a new high. So you don't want to go long at the high of that move. And now we have a new low, first entry short, second entry short, failure potentially. But once again, it's kind of a personal choice of mine, especially in these trading ranges. I never want to go long at the high of these moves, because sometimes you can get burned, even though it's a very bullish bar. We're closing way above the EMA. But like I said, I focus on these short-term downtrends. Some traders might see this as a wide-term trend, and it probably does make sense. But once again, if you focus on this trend, you're really just going along at the upper side of the trend channel. So it did work. And now we just are slowly working back to the top. Once again, let's draw this short-term uptrend. So we have a break and a new low. And if you guys are thinking, okay, why didn't I go for this failed second entry long? It's just, in the long run, it makes more sense to focus on the very very high probability trades instead of trying to force anything that you might get trapped on. So that's why I'm being very patient right now, and just obviously I'm not trading live right now, so it's much easier said than done, but I'm basically just training my mind right now to avoid even marking those trades while I'm looking back on the charts, so I don't take them in real time. So now we have this uptrend once again. We have a first entry long, second entry long right here. But we do have to respect this short-term downtrend, and we're expecting a new low of it before we can resume thinking to go long. So we have a break and a new high of the short-term uptrend once again. And we just end up pushing higher and higher. So now we actually have a second entry long. So we're at this high, we have a first entry long, second entry long. The signal bar isn't great, but now at this point that we've pushed high so many times, now is when we can start thinking of this wider term uptrend. And even if we want to also focus on the short term uptrend, we have one leg up here. We have one leg down, two legs down. We're at the EMA. We do have a bullish signal bar. I would say that it's smarter to avoid this. If the signal bar was much more bullish, I would say go long all day. But I'll mark it as a slightly more aggressive trade just because of the signal bar, and we did end up pushing up. So now we have a new low here, first entry short, second entry short, and a potential second entry short failure if the next bar breaks above this. So now let's think of if we should go long here. So if we had this wide term uptrend drawn, and we're thinking, okay, we're still in this uptrend, and we want to go long right here. It's a failed second entry short. We should go long all day, right? But this is why I like to focus on only the short-term uptrend. So now we have this short-term uptrend. We have a break of it. We have a new high. So we really should relax on going high, especially because if you're going to draw wide trend channel like this, we also have to remember, look what happened. We didn't reach the top of the trend channel here. We didn't reach it here. So potentially we're losing momentum. And even if we get rid of these drawings and only focus on what's been going on in the last few bars, zoom in right here, it really just looks like we're sort of congested. So I would avoid taking potential long entry right there, even though it's a nice signal bar. Let's see what happened. And yeah, okay. We ended up getting trapped. If you would have gone long right there, actually, even if you went long right there, you would have got bailed out, because if you went for 1 point scalp, you would have scalped out. But it's not technically the right. You wouldn't have been reading the price action the exact correct way if you're gonna wait for the very, very, very high probability setups. If you're gonna go long right there, because what ended up happening is that we had this very bearish pin bar. So traders who are actually gonna go long there and go for more than a 1 point scalp are gonna end up getting trapped. And when we are scalping, even though we're only going for 1 point, a lot of the times we'll end up getting runners that go for a lot more than 1 point, just because we're waiting for those very high probability setups, which means that when traders pile on at the same point, either going long or going short, the prices are going to move that way for much more than just 1 point. So now we have this short-term uptrend. We have a break of it, no new high yet, but prices push below the EMA. So now let's draw our potential trading range once again. Something like this. Let's zoom out. We're basically at the middle of the entire day. If we draw a massive, massive trading range, draw a little midline, let's see where we are. No way. Okay. this makes sense. You guys have seen what I've done. I literally have not even looked at these bars yet, but wow. Literally to the tick, maybe one tick off, based on not even at the very low of the day or the very high, but based on the previous trading range that I had drawn and where it seemed that the high of the day was, or where we had the most bounces, the midline correlates to where we bounce right here, signaling that this overall trading range structure is valid, because prices would not have reacted right there if it was not valid, and traders are seeing this market geometry is real. So now, once again, we are still looking for a new high of this short-term uptrend. We're at the low of this potential trading range, but prices are very, very congested here. So let's just wait and see if we get a nice setup. So now we have a nice bullish bar. And we do end up getting what you can probably consider a new high, a new test at the high at least. Don't see any great setups right now, but we do have one leg down, two legs down, another bounce at these lows, a nice bullish signal bar. So I actually like this trade as long, because if we consider this one leg down, two legs down, it would be a second entry long. This short-term downtrend is over, and technically, even though I said we did reach this high, we have not reached the high. We went a little below it, one tick below it. So traders might be still thinking we need to retest this midline. So this looks like a good long trade to me. And we do have a higher low right there. So if you didn't take this second entry long, first entry long, second entry long, you can go long at this higher low. Let's see if that would have worked out, and it did. So now we finally get a new high. We actually resume another short-term uptrend. We have a break of it, a new high. So we're thinking to potentially go short. We do have a lower high right here, but prices do look very congested, so I would avoid that. Let's see if we can get a failed second entry short, and we do. So now we have a first entry long, second entry long, potential failed second entry long failure, or a potential failed second entry long. I think I said failed second entry short before, but right here, if you went short, once again, I would not do that, because I have my personal rule where I do not go short when a bar closes one tick or right at the EMA. So yeah, let's see if this trade would have worked out. And actually, you would have got trapped. So now we really have a first entry long, second entry long failure, and a trap, a double trap. So whoever's going short will get trapped, but also whoever got long, who just got trapped, because if you're going long after that bar, you're going to get trapped. Now a lot of traders are piling to go long, but it is risky still to go long at the top of the trading range. And yeah, we didn't even get a trigger. And prices do end up going lower, but not for long. So now we finally have a strong move. Let's draw a short-term downtrend, something like that. But really, it might just be a leg, a break, and a new low. And now that makes sense. Okay, for traders who are out there, trend channel like this, we finally get a new high of it, but also we can consider this move to be a trend within itself. So we have a first entry long, second entry long, break new high, congestion. So let's see if we get any more trades. Right now, we're just focused on this mini trend or trading range. So we break out the bottom. Let's see if it turns into a failed breakout. It does. I'm just looking for a potential failed second entry short, but we end up just working down. So now we see that prices are going down. You could potentially draw a wide term trend, something like this, or something like this, but to me it doesn't look very accurate. It really just looks like one leg down, break, and kind of one leg and then another leg down, something like that. So now let's draw another short-term uptrend. We have a first entry long, just a break and a new high, so no long entry. And then, okay, this is an interesting spot. So now we have a break and new high of this short-term uptrend. We have a very bullish bar at the low of this trading range, but we have to respect this short-term downtrend as well. So I would not go long right there. It would have worked out. But like I said, we're only focusing on the very, very, very high probability setups. So let's extend this trading range. And we are getting towards the end of the day. So it's important to just not get impatient and just once again wait for the high probability trades. Here we have another failed second entry long, but you'd be going at the low you'd be going short at the low of the move once again, and these bars are very stacked, so I would avoid that. And doesn't look like there's a great setup, but we do have an incredibly decisive momentumous move. So now let's see if we can get a second entry short. So for zooming out, we worked up, we had this after this massive downtrend, and now we're getting late in the day, and traders, I guess, want to test the low again. So we have, actually, it's considered a third entry short because at this new low we went up. We have a first entry, but I'm going to consider it as one leg up, two legs up. This is a very, very bearish signal bar. It looks like a textbook setup to me. We're looking to test this low at least, and potentially really go all the way down to the low of the day. And did we end up testing the low of the day? Basically. And that's, oh yeah, we did end up testing the low of the day. So that's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I had enough energy. We had a long day here in Australia, training for the World Championship tomorrow. Going to race against some monsters. Peace out. Appreciate anyone watching. Have a good one.